Let's talk about mutually exclusive events. Mutually exclusive events means that only one of two events can happen. A and B are considered mutually exclusive if it is impossible for A and B to happen at the same time. Here are some examples. Suppose you flip a coin one time. Getting heads and getting tails are mutually exclusive. You can get one or the other, but you can't get both heads and tails at the same time. If you're standing in Canada and standing in Mexico, those are mutually exclusive events. You can't stand in Canada and Mexico at the same time. Being above 6 feet tall, being below 3 feet tall, again, you can't do both of those at the same time, so they're considered mutually exclusive. Let's take a look at some Venn diagrams of this. Over here, I've created a Venn diagram to show what mutually exclusive looks like. Notice that there's no overlap here at all. If this is event A here, and this is event B, they can't both happen, so they're totally separate. There's no overlapping area in these Venn diagrams at all. Now, can something be mutually exclusive and independent? I'm going to give you a second to think about it. If you understood independence well, you already know the answer. The answer is no. Independent means that that A happening has no effect on whether or not B happens. But look at this. If A happens here, B cannot happen. So if A happens, the probability of B is 0. Mutually exclusive doesn't mean it means that they cannot possibly be independent. Mutually exclusive actually can be quite useful though when it comes to adding probabilities. So suppose we think about two mutually exclusive events. Suppose it's getting a 4 on a die and getting a 5 on a die. Those are mutually exclusive events. And let's say it's a fair die, so you have a 1/6 probability of each. Now, the probability of getting a 4 or a 5 is now going to be really easy to calculate. Just 1/6 plus 1/6. 1/6 is the probability of a 4, 1/6 is the probability of 5, and that gets you 2/6 or a 1/3. Now, let's say you want to find out the probability of getting a 4, a 5, or a 6. You just add another 6. That'll make it when you get 1/6 plus 1/6 plus 1/6, which is 3/6 or 1/2. And we get that because we can do that so easily because they're mutually exclusive. When two events are mutually exclusive, to find the probability that one or the other one happens, you just add the probabilities. That's why it's so great to try to find mutually exclusive events. In fact, in some of these later videos, we're going to talk about how you can turn something that doesn't seem to have that into something that does have that and make your life a lot easier.